Hey Pansy, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Esther. So guys, you remember like a few videos ago I said that I was gonna do the free walking tour and I wasn't able to get it, so today I'm going for the free tour. So the person who booked this free walking tour is Joana. I work with Joana, like she's, you know, my colleague and also my friend. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna join you for this. And the place is like 30 minutes away on foot, so I have to leave right now because it's already 10 a.m. So let's get going guys and let's do this walking tour. I'm not sure where exactly it is, but you know, we'll Google map this shit. So guys, the sun is out today, but it's really windy, so I'm getting a little bit teary-eyed. Anyway, I'm a few minutes late. I hope like Joana will be able to wait for me. Oh my god, can you see that I'm crying? It's really windy.
The tours we do are in majority free walking tours, just like this one. We have 5 tours like that here in Krakow. There are 2 basic ones, the Old Town tour and the Jewish Krakow tour. Those are really must-sees, must-dos when here in Krakow. Because both the Old Town of Krakow and the Jewish Quarter of Krakow were listed on the first UNESCO Heritage List. And this is a very important hint for all of the tourists. When in Krakow, you definitely should see those places. Of course, we're going to talk about the Second World War during this tour, not the whole tour, okay? Just a part of it. When it comes to this particular tour, it's going to be 2 hours and a half. I know, that sounds a bit terrifying. But I hope it won't be like a boring thing. Definitely we're not going to do any running. We're going to visit 2 different districts of Krakow. The first one, of course, Kazimierz with the Jewish Quarter, and the second one is going to be Podgórze. This is where the ghetto used to be. So this tour is going to have like 2 parts. The first one is going to be more about the history of Jewish people in here in Poland, in Krakow, before the Second World War and also after Second World War. Kazimierz the Great invited Jewish people to Poland. Back then they were in trouble in Prague. They were evicted from Prague. And Kazimierz the Great told the Jewish people, so they don't want you in Prague, you can come here, you can come to my newly created city of Kazimierz. It's very close to Krakow, the capital city of Poland. You can live here, you can work here, and you don't have to pay the taxes for the next 10 years. So that's like perfect, yeah? Everybody started coming in here, and this is why the Jewish community was strong from the very beginning. Jewish boys were very well educated. They knew everybody, you know, even from those poor families, they knew how to read, they knew how to write. Many Jewish people traveled around Europe to many different cities, so they knew how those cities were organized in different places, and they were great tradesmen with a lot of experience. So Kazimierz the Great knew the more Jewish people are going to come to his newly created cities, the faster those cities are going to develop. As simple as that. So the Jewish community was growing stronger and stronger, and finally at the very beginning of 15th century, Jewish people built their first synagogue in here. This one, just in front of you, the Old Synagogue, which was built here in 1407. Should be called the oldest because it's now the oldest Jewish synagogue in Poland.
So guys, I finally met Joana. We are here for the free walking tour. Yeah. She's the one who booked it, like I told you earlier, so it's gonna be an interesting day. Damn.
Alright, so we are now in Szeroka Street, the Polish version of Broadway, and this used to be something like an informal main square of the Jewish part of Kazimierz, because as you already know, Kazimierz had this Christian part with the proper main square, but the Jewish people also had their center, and that was Szeroka Street. Szeroka Street was in majority inhabited by those richest, by most important people. And there was one who was really, really rich. He not only had a house in here, but he was also able to build his private synagogue right in the center of the Jewish quarter. Today, the synagogue is a bookshop, and they are open, they are very friendly. So we're gonna walk in and talk about it a bit more in there. weren't so much original with the names in here, so this synagogue was called the small one. Yeah, and Szeroka Street there was the old one, the new one, and the small one. Yeah, there is a terrible story behind building this synagogue. I don't like it so much, but so I have to tell you about it. Yeah, so it says that Wolf Popper built the synagogue in a way for his daughter. And the thing is that his daughter was supposed to get married, but nobody wanted to marry her because she was really, really ugly. And even though she came from this rich, influential family, there was no candidate. So then Wolf Popper thought he's gonna help her out a bit, and he thought about building this synagogue as a private one, and then he promised his future son-in-law that when he marries his daughter, he's gonna become a rabbi in here. And still, according to the story, nobody wanted to marry her. So we are now next to the Jewish Community Center. Of course, we are next to another synagogue. Remember this one I showed you in the photo in the Popper synagogue, the progressive synagogue. This is the back of it. But we are now interested in this building, the Jewish Community Center, which was started here in 2008, thanks to the help of Prince Charles. Know this guys? Know this guy, especially the guy from Britain, you know him. So once he came here to Krakow and he wanted to meet the Holocaust survivors. So he met with those Jewish people in here, and he was talking to them, and the atmosphere was great. And finally he asked them whether they lacked something in here in Krakow, in Kazimierz. And they told him that they would like to have something like a meeting place, something like a community center. And thanks to the help of Prince Charles, it was opened in here. So we are here, we are in the new square, the center of nightlife in Krakow, the center of nightlife in Kazimierz. So it's not so busy right now, it's just a bit too early for that. But how come that Kazimierz in general became this party place? A place with a history like that, this is quite odd when you think about it. But maybe it won't be that odd when you think about the history of Poland after the Second World War. After the Second World War, the Jewish quarter was basically a ghost town. Yeah, almost an empty place. The majority of Jewish people who lived in Krakow didn't survive. 3,000 people out of those 68,000 Jewish people who survived the war, and still not all of them decided to stay in Poland after the Second World War. And then the situation of Poland after the Second World War. What you could hear everywhere around Poland in the late 40s, I mean officially, was that Poland was liberated by the Soviets in 1945. And then they forgot to leave our country for another 44 years. So it wasn't that much of a liberation, definitely. Yes, so we had this communist government. We were under the influence of the Soviet Union. We were a communist country. And the communist regime wasn't really interested in preserving the historical parts of the Jewish quarter in here. So when they had this whole empty space in Kazimierz, they started putting in here people of ill reputation, so to say. Drunkies, drug addicts, also those people with some financial problems. If you weren't paying your rent, you were kicked out from the place you live in and you were moved somewhere to here. So this district, this area became really neglected and also became quite dangerous. People prefer to walk around the quarter than to walk across it, yeah? And this situation lasted for years. First of all, this beautiful place, this beautiful courtyard is gonna be our secret passage to another part of Kazimierz. Can you see a cross over there? This is the top of the tower of Corpus Christi Church, the main church of Kazimierz. So in a while we're going to be in the Christian part already. We're going to have just one short stop in there, and later we're going to continue to the ghetto district. Just behind this gate there's Józefa Street, at the end of which if you go just that way you're gonna reach the old synagogue again. Józefa Street was something like a borderline between the Jewish part of Kazimierz and the Christian part as well. This place is important because of one more thing. There was a very famous movie made in here, the movie from the 1990s about the ghetto in Krakow. The Schindler's List, yes, that's right. So there was a movie made in here by Steven Spielberg in the 1990s about the Second World War, about the ghetto, and it was made here in Kazimierz. This doesn't really make sense because Kazimierz isn't where the ghetto used to be during the Second World War. Yeah, the ghetto was in Podgórze, on the other side of the Vistula River, the place which we're gonna see just in a moment. So, why wasn't it made in Podgórze? The thing is that Podgórze was changed a lot after the Second World War. The communists built all of those modern-looking communist-style buildings just everywhere. So when Steven Spielberg came here at the beginning of 1990s, he realized he couldn't really make a movie about the Second World War there in Podgórze. And then he started thinking about going somewhere else, somewhere to a place with a nice Jewish quarter. He thought about going to Prague. But then some people told him, maybe you want to see the Jewish quarter of Krakow first. And he said, Jewish what? Where? What do you mean? Yeah? He had no idea that there was this place like Jewish quarter in here. But then he visited Kazimierz, he visited the Jewish quarter, and he realized one thing: it wasn't changed that much.
So guys, I just wanted to say, like, if you come to Poland or Krakow, because basically they have these tours like in every city, you should definitely try them. They're free, and then of course you have to pay some tip, but you know.
And a lot of schedules and days.
Yeah, so it's really good if you just come and do the tour, get to know about the history. Yeah, I think it's really good, and our tour guide is good at it, good in English, so you understand what she's saying. Yeah, and the tours can be done even in French, Spanish, Italian, yeah. So you can basically book the trip in the language that you want. Yeah, the language that is available, not the language that you want. Because maybe you want a tour in Swahili or Portuguese and there's nothing, maybe.
Alright, so finally we are in Plac Wolnica. This used to be the main square of Kazimierz, this main part, the Christian part. We have just walked past the Corpus Christi Church, which used to be the main church of Kazimierz, and it was founded by King Kazimierz the Great, the best king of Poland ever, who ruled the country for 37 years altogether. And he built a lot of churches in the country. He built those churches as a compensation for his sins. In the past it worked in such a way that if you were a sinner but you had enough money to be able to build a church, you were forgiven. Yeah, Kazimierz the Great had this problem with his love life. He had 4 wives 3 of them at the same time, being a Catholic. And and also he had countless mistresses whom he was changing every second week. Not because he wanted to so much, but because the people from his court feared that if one woman stays with a king for a bit too long, she's gonna become too powerful. So they were moving those girls away and bringing some new ones just to keep the king busy. So he definitely had a lot to compensate for, and this is why he built so many different beautiful Gothic churches in Poland, like that one, for example. The main square of the ghetto. Now it's referred to as the Heroes of the Ghetto Square. During the times of the Second World War, it was called the Agreement Square. It was to commemorate this agreement between Krakow and Podgórze when they were joined together. Now Podgórze became this district of Krakow. Yeah. Before the Second World War, there was this bus station in here, just this building, and this was a place from which people went to their holidays in Polish Beskid Mountains, for example. So it was this atmosphere of holidays, relax, positive atmosphere in general, and then in just a couple of years it changed dramatically into the very center of the ghetto.
So guys, we are done with the walking tour.
Yeah.
It was really good, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we had it's really informative. You get to know about the Polish history and stuff like that. And in the afternoon at around 1:30 we are going to do the street art tour. Yeah, so but now we are gonna eat
Zapiekanka.
yeah, we are starving. Okay, I'm not really starving, but
I am sort of.
okay, we're gonna have the zapiekanki because I've never heard it before, and Joana really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you recommend it, so
Yeah.
we're gonna eat now.
TripAdvisor.
Okay guys, so right now we are at this zapiekanki place. I'm not really sure what this place is called, but we already have our zapiekankis. This is mine, this one is mine, and then this one is Joana's. To be honest, I really can't remember the names. I just know mine has like olives, feta, and it's like really good, like, and the mayo on top. And then Joana's has like
Bacon.
I don't know, like bacon and mayo and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
Same.
It's really dark. Guys, the struggle of trying to film. Oh my god. The footage is dark, I know, but I mean, what can we do?
Just see the silhouette.
It's actually really good. Okay guys, so we are done with the tour. We are done eating, so I think I'm gonna go home, and then I don't know, what do you have planned?
Going out.
Tonight? No, I'm talking about in the afternoon.
Oh, maybe going to the Shingles factory or visiting some vintage shops around. I don't know.
Yeah, I also for me, I know where I'm going. I'm going home. I'm going home. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, leave a comment, all that jazz. Say hello to Joana, first time in my video. Okay guys, bye.